What's up and good afternoon, guys? Welcome back to another video. We've got all the animals out today hiding in the shade. We got the goats over there, the donkeys, Big Willie. Not sure where Big Walt is. He's floating around here somewhere. All right, y'all, rest up. This entire video series is for you, so we can stop the coyote problem trying to eat you guys. Now, if this is the first video of this build series that you are seeing, let me give you guys a quick recap. So out here on this beautiful ranch of mine, we have a pretty massive coyote problem, and it sounds like it's not just us, it is everywhere. And we have lost a fair amount of animals to coyotes. And while, you know, you can sit out here and try to hunt them all night in discomfort, and I have many a nights spent on that roof back there, waiting for them to come out, freezing my butt off, and it was just not fun. So we decided we're gonna be building an elevated luxury hunting blind. That way, no matter how many hours you spend in this thing, you are comfortable. It is also going to double as a sweet little lookout viewpoint deck to check out, well, we do have a pit bike track up there, but we're gonna end up moving that, and then we're gonna be building also an RC car track next to it. So in the first couple of videos, we got the entire base and decking done. And as you guys can see, we opted to go with Trex decking, which kind of glad I did, because now we never have to finish it and or maintain it. And then where you see the OSB right here, that is where the actual building portion is gonna go. And that is all sitting right there in the bed of my gray OBS. I've gone ahead and made a little bit of a design change. I don't know if it's really a change, but I want to show you guys just a quick little picture right here of what I've decided we're gonna do on Google SketchUp, at least for my window layout, to make this make the most sense. Now, I'm gonna put the most windows on this side, even though most of what we're gonna be doing is on this side. However, you're gonna be seeing this thing from my house, and I want it to actually look good and not just like some shed up in the air. So I purchased one 2-foot by 3-foot window. So that's 2 foot wide, 3 foot tall. I hope it's gonna be tall enough. I bought one just to kind of test and see if I like it. Otherwise, we're gonna go 2 foot by 4 foot tall. And the reason I'm going 2 foot instead of just like one 4-foot window here, one 4-foot window there, one there is aesthetically, I want it to look cool. I want it to look modern with a bunch of like tall, skinny windows. So on this side, I'm thinking we do 3 2-foot by 3-foot windows here. Over here, we'll do like a 3-foot by 3-foot. And because we got to keep costs somewhat in a budget, I don't want to end up buying like 30 windows for this little thing. Now, while I have done a little bit of framing in my career, I'm not a framer by trade. My background is in concrete and in finished carpentry. So I may do things a little bit different. We're gonna get her done nonetheless. So let's just start schlecking some lumber up there. I was gonna actually build this on my concrete driveway. That way I had a nice flat spot to build it. But I'm by myself today, and I don't want to have to try and lift this whole wall up there. So we're gonna build it up there. So I believe I brought up enough lumber here to do this one wall. Obviously I'm limited on space, so we're gonna build it one wall at a time. Now we gotta do our layout, and this is where we're gonna figure out exactly where our studs are gonna go, our windows are gonna go, and all that. So to make this easier, so I don't have just giant blocks of king studs, jack studs, and all that for each window, because the windows are gonna be so close to each other, I got one 4x8 right there that I'm gonna run as a header. It's gonna carry all the way across these 3 windows. And then from there, we're gonna frame out the windows underneath. So we'll have a king and a jack stud just off onto each side carrying that whole header. And then we're just eliminating these giant blocks of 2x4s. I don't know, makes sense in my head. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my layout, and then I'll show you what I've come up with. Again, being that I don't frame every day for a living, it takes me a minute to really wrap my mind around exactly what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. So through the power of movie magic, let's do the layout. So here's where you know, this is as far as I get here, then I'm gonna lay it out and kind of go from there. So we've got all of our marks down below. Those are the ones that are gonna transfer all the way up. That one is not, I gotta scribble that booger out. So we've got window there, we've got jack stud, we'll get the king stud in. I actually need to mark that for our 4x8 header. Window, window. And then from there, we kind of figure it out as we start to build up, because obviously you can't mark where your header is gonna go, because it's not gonna actually tie into that top plate. That's gonna tie in separately from the other studs and the cripples and all that. Again, my brain doesn't work that far ahead when it comes to framing, so let's just lay it out and start building. All right, y'all, I'm glad I knocked this one out first. This ate up a ton of lumber. There's a lot of wood in this wall with having 3 windows. I'm glad I decided to carry that one header all the way across to eliminate basically that mass. I mean, it's not like we eliminated it much because the wall is so small. I still need to do one more top plate, but I'm just gonna get this thing up in the air before I do that. And getting it up in the air is gonna be interesting. It's pretty heavy. Like I said, there's a lot of lumber in there. Obviously, we don't want it going over that away. You know, I'd rather the wall fall than the wall fall, and we lose the hood of the OBS. And wish me luck. This is gonna be exciting. Then we gotta brace it in place. We've got a 2x4 over there. I'm gonna shoot onto the side here, and then once we get it up in place, we'll tack it to the outside frame there. That way we can put the next wall in place. Not exactly the most fun place working when it's, your building is just as tall as your platform is wide that you're building it on, but we got it done. I don't even know where to start to get this thing up. Start by, let's see what we're working with here. And we don't want to fall off the edge. It's not that bad. I'm gonna try to do this in steps. We got it up on that 6x, but it's on the side, so we got it up 4 inches. Let's see if we can get it up to here. Now that we can get underneath it. Oh no. Woo, she's sliding off the edge. That is what we don't want. And let's put a couple of stops here so we don't go flying over the edge. Oh no, the battery's dead. We are switching over to screws just so I don't have to go all the way back to the house and grab batteries for the nail gun. Now from here, let's go a little bit higher. Actually, I'm gonna stage these. Where'd that screw go? That thing fall through? All right, we're just gonna stage some screws right there. And we're close enough by. Now again, the problem is this thing's like exactly as wide as this deck. So I don't really want to stand over here and lift, and then if I don't make it, we go down. Let's get a feel for it. I think we can get it from here, guys. Yeah, we got it. We got it. All right. There we go. A little smoother than I thought there. All right, we're good there. All right. All right, looking good. Oh guys, I am stoked. I was a little worried about only going with the 3-foot tall windows, so I raised up the lower part of the window. Instead of going like 36, I went 40 inches. That way I'm not standing in here and like the frame of the window is right at my eye level. So I think this is rad. And honestly, this is a better position right here for propping up your slingshot, you know, to get coyotes. Okay, I'm gonna switch over to this T40 Torx bit. And we're gonna be driving 5-inch timber screws. These are from Simpson as well. I mean, you can see just how burly those guys are. Watch how the Hercules does. Let's see how much battery we got on here. We got 2 bars on a 5 amp hour battery. And let's shoot these in. Now, if that doesn't sell you, I don't know what will. That's going into 2x4, 3/4 OSB, and then into the sides of those 2x10s. Well guys, yesterday, the homie Freddie came over and we ended up just chatting, and I kind of stopped working on the old hunting blind here, but it worked out well because as we were standing on the ground, staring out that away, I heard the guinea hens start freaking out, and they are like the alarm. If there's anybody on the property or animals on the property that shouldn't be here, they let you know. And I watched a coyote leap in the air to try to catch a guinea hen that was flying into a tree. We protect our animals out here, so he took off running that way, and I'm like, oh, he's gone. Obviously, I didn't have a slingshot with me at the time, and I was like, well, by the time I go grab one that will take him out at that distance, he's gonna be gone. Well, I'll be damned. That son of a gun did not leave. He came back, looped back around, and he was ready for round number 2 with the guineas. And he's currently sleeping right over there. I would show you guys, if you saw on my Instagram, what you guys saw, the sleepy dog over there. But fortunately for the YouTubes, we can't show none of that. But let's just say, he didn't want to wait for the hunting blind to be done. He just decided he needed to go now. But on a brighter note, I mean, I guess that actually is a bright note because there's one less. I've jumped back onto framing today, and I've got this wall ready to stand up. So we're gonna put her into place. Then we're gonna get that 3rd wall there. And I'm still trying to decide on this wall. Obviously we need a door. but I also want a window to be able to see out that way so we can see where like the chicken coop and stuff is. I just don't know if we're gonna have the space to squeeze a door and window in. So we'll figure that out in a second, but let's get this wall stood up and hopefully again, not go over the edge. This one's lighter though. This one's got way more lumber in it. And this wall is actually, well, plus or minus a foot shorter than this wall. That way our roof is gonna rake this way. And I know that might seem like controversial that we're sloping it that way because that's where the patio is, but the winds usually drive from this way, and I figure if we have a lip on it, it's going to want to pick up, versus if we have a ramp, the wind's going to go over. I have no idea. That just made sense in my brain. So this will be the shorter side, this will be the taller side, which again looks better from the house anyway. And then we're going to shrink down to one 3 foot by 4 foot wide window. This one will be a slider because the single hung windows that go up and down are very expensive. Oh, geez. Oh. Let's see how this one goes. We're kind of running out of room up here. Oh, I hear the coyotes. Did you guys hear that? I don't know if you guys can hear that. We might be getting interrupted today too. I'm gonna go, you know, find a convenient slingshot to have around. This one's not as bad. I'm gonna try to pick it up and scooch it over here. I don't want to slide it across the Trex because the Trex does scratch easily. Get that out the way there. All right, almost. Good there, and we're pretty good there. All right, so unfortunately this window ended up having to be a 1/2 inch lower than this one because I was too lazy to cut the 4x6 to rip it down, because now this is a give or take 7 foot wall versus the 8 foot wall. We just didn't have enough room to get the header in there, which also means that this wall coming this way is going to be the same height. So hopefully you don't end up seeing it from there to there. Typically that's a detail I don't miss. I don't like that I missed it, but I'm also trying not to geek out too hard on this thing, because at the end of the day it's like a hunting blind. It's not the Sistine Chapel. I just have a hard time not making things like cooler than they should be and spending way too much money and way too much time and way too much effort. I don't want to say I regret going this deep into this thing, but so far, every time I swipe my card at Home Depot, I'm like, oh, that's expensive. Okay, so let's get our cuts for this next wall. We got those right there. I always try to find straighter boards if they're going to be on the edges of my window. That way I'm not fighting a big bow when we go to put the window in. Oh, the goats are not a fan of the trash truck. They're hiding over here behind the water tank. This wall is probably going to end up being the quickest and easiest here, so that's good. Whoa, get on there, girl, right about there. That's where you live. $39.25. We're gonna cut that a little short. Now here's a hot tip for you guys. I've done it a lot of different ways. Here's the way me and Dave do measurements, and this will speed things up in the field for you. So let's just do something here, right? So say we are marking, hopefully this shows up good. We got 1.5 inches, right? Pretty easy to find. 1.25 inches, easy to find. 1 5/8 inches, easy to find. If you guys have ever used a tape measure, you know. Then you have your small ticks right there, right? Those are 1/16. So all the in-betweens are 1/16. And for some guys, it's no problem to be like, yeah, 1 9/16, right? Which is, that is 1.5 inches plus 1/16. Or you do 1 7/16, which is right there. Now for a lot of people, if you don't do this every day, or even if you do, it gets annoying trying to figure out 16. So what we do is we say fat and we say shy, right? So fat basically means take whatever measurement I say. So if I say 1.5 inches fat, that means 1 9/16. So fat means it's a 1/16 bigger than whatever I'm calling out. Shy means a 1/16 smaller. If I say 1 3/4 fat, that means 1 13/16, which again, who wants to sit there and try to figure out 13/16? So Me and Dave use this exclusively, so we know it. We can be up measuring something, call down to the guy down below. Hey, it's an 1.25 inch fat. That means 1 inch and 5/16. It's really, really easy. It makes things quicker. Again, I've heard it done a few different ways by different contractors, but that's just what we do. So if you ever hear me and Dave calling out shy or fat, and I just realized I missed a nail right there, that's what we're talking about. So if we come back to this measurement, we've got 39.25. So 39.25 is the exact measurement. I don't want to fight this going in, so I'm going to shave off a 1/16. I could probably do a full 1/8. It's rough framing. All right, come over here. 39.25 shy. And then another thing to note, if you guys ever see anybody put like a little arrow like this or a little cross or anything like that, that means we want the blade on this side of the line, because if you guys know, a blade actually is a real dimension, right? So let's just say that's an 1/8 inch thick. If you cut on the center of that line, you're gonna split that 1/8 inch, so you're gonna be a 1/16 short. Again, for rough framing, not the end of the world, but if you're starting to get into fine carpentry, that makes a lot of difference. So whenever we're measuring and you see, you know, we put a mark and then we go like that, that denotes what side the blade's gonna be on. That means the blade's gonna be over here. So this full dimension up to that line is gonna be the correct one. We're not gonna end up eating some of that up by cutting center down that line. Alrighty, next wall going up, and hopefully we don't get bound up in here. Ooh, she's a little tight. She's walking herself over to the edge. There we go. Well, as you guys can see, the sun has set right there. Always beautiful sunsets out here at Rhino Ranch. Got this wall in, realized I'm a moron, and got too far ahead of myself again. And well, I forgot to deduct this 1.5 inches right here, so that this board needs to be right there. I did not deduct that, so obviously that's too tall. The window will not fit inside of that opening. It needs to be this size right here. But it actually works out well, because I also forgot that I want to do a little like inset mini fireplace in that wall right there. And I also did not frame for that. So the wall had to come back apart anyway. It's a little bit annoying that we have to do that, but it is what it is. As you guys can see though, it is dark. We are not going to do that until tomorrow. We should have Papa Rhino back up here, and I got some mini truck news for you guys, so stay tuned for the morning. Alrighty guys, we're gonna start off the morning by undoing my mistakes from yesterday. So I'm just gonna use the Sawzall here. We'll cut all these nails out. You could sit there and dig in with a cat's paw, but it's just quicker with the Sawzall, and you don't destroy all the lumber. This thing's just held in place with screws right now to those sidewalls, so I'll be able to actually lay the wall back down, and that way we can fire our nails back in through the bottom plate instead of trying to toenail them in from the sides. Watch your feet. You go there, you're in the way. Okay, all the nails are out. Now I go back to my replanning on actually accounting for the proper height of the window and a little recessed mini fireplace. So for the window, we're going to go 36 inches here, right there. We'll go 36 plus 1.5 inches. There we go. That's how long we're gonna cut our cripples. Last time I made the mistake of cutting them all the way up to that 36-inch mark, but that does not leave, that doesn't leave any room for our sill to go in. So it was too high. So our sill needs to be here. The top of the sill needs to be 36 inches from there to there. And then our cripples go from here down. But now we have to plan this out. I gotta get the dimensions of some fireplace. Okay, we are back, reframed. Let's keep making forward progress now, not going backwards here. So again, we've got our window here. We've got our little cutout there for possibly a little mini fireplace. I'm not 100% sure we're gonna do that yet. It's like the extra level of bougie we probably shouldn't do, but we'll probably end up doing. One thing I didn't mention is check out this deck size before we go any further here. So we ended up adding an extra, 6 inches right there with that last board. It's 5.5 plus the gap. And man, am I glad we did, because look at this. We got plenty of room here. Hopefully you guys can see, to walk comfortably. You don't feel like you're falling off. You don't feel like you're smushed up against the building as you're trying to like shuffle through. So this is like a ton of space to hang out, watch the 110 track, drive your RC cars, whatever we're gonna end up doing up here. All right, let's put this wall back into place here. Looking good, looking good. So I'm gonna plumb this one up. This wall's already plumbed up, so we know we need to rack a little bit that way. And it'll bring everything kind of back into square. Oh, Papa Rhino is showing up right now. And man, the wind is actually starting to pick up pretty decent. So we're gonna see if this thing falls over. Let's go jump down there though and get a mini truck update. Paparano thinks he's got this thing fixed. The other day I came home and from getting materials, and I noticed like everything that was in the bed of the mini truck was like scattered around the property. And I'm like, well, he was just driving fast, and he's like, man, this thing's running so good. I'm like, cool. And he's like, well, it's running too good. What does that mean? Well, I burnt up the alternator. It was just running so good, spun the alternator too fast. Okay, here we go. So he has got the alternator rebuilt. And we're gonna put that back in today. We got some new spark plugs, even though it's already on a new set of spark plugs. And he's claiming it's running good. I've never seen it run good longer than like a day after he claims it runs good, so let's go find out. All right, we got a fresh alternator. Well, freshly rebuilt. Oh, now we gotta remember how it goes in.
Oh, I remember.
Oh, well, we got a fresh belt too.
Yeah.
How'd you get it around the first? Huh? You got it around the fan?
Gotta get around the fan first. Let's do that here.
Well, as you guys can see, the new alternator is on. He swapped out all the spark plugs, and now she is idling very, very high.
This one was just hanging there.
No.
That's the idle.
All right, she's back to idling then. All right.
No Milwaukee tool.
Let's see if she works.
I like what she did.
Yeah.
There we go. Here, man. It's really good.
We gotta go find a hill. That's the true test. If she can make it up a hill, then we're in good shape. Oh, she's got torque.
Let's spin the wheels now.
Oh, all right. Going straight up.
Go slow. She'll pull it.
Oh, she got power.
Should have never did that.
Nope. That would have been 52 times on the clutch, double clutching it to get it up there.
Slow down.
Oh, not yet, not yet, not yet. All right, guys, well, you gotta say, will it last more than a day? We'll see, but seems like she's running good now. Paparano's gonna take her on some more test drives and fine tune her, dial some stuff in, but we're going back into framing world here. This may come back to bite me in the butt, but I made the decision to figure this door out later. I basically modeled this off of the width of a door that I think isn't too pricey, and it has a glass window in it, and then that eliminates trying to squeeze a little window over here. The only thing is, being that I shrunk this wall down to, I don't even know, let's see what that is. Oh, we are almost exactly 7 feet there, so that's good. Other than when you try to get an 82-inch or 82.5-inch rough opening, that doesn't really happen with 7-foot walls. So we don't really have much of a header going across there. I'm not really concerned about it. This thing's a freaking beefy. The weight of the roof's gonna sit on these two walls anyway. So we should be all right. I just couldn't put one in there because we wouldn't have had enough height to get the door in. So I've got a 10-foot 2x4, and I thought about going 2x6 on the roof, but I decided now let's just go 2x4. And then we're basically gonna split the difference on the tail end here, front and back, so you can see we hang out over the front. And let's take a little step on the scaffolding here and get a little look from an angle. But that's basically what the roof is going to end up being. Obviously to the edge, and then we'll build a little pony wall to kind of fill in that little center section right there. I didn't want to try to frame the walls at that angle and deal with all that, so they got framed flat, and we'll patch in that little piece. But I'm gonna try to figure out exactly where to cut my little bird's mouth, my notches, that way these sit on top of the walls nice and tidy. So I think I'm just gonna slap it on the side here and mark it, because again, not really a framer, definitely not a roof builder, so that math is not in here anywhere. I'd have to go looking for a formula to figure that out. So gone ahead and put my 2x4 up there, marked it, got it down here, cut it, went and tested everything. So that bird's mouth and that bird's mouth right there, they sit right on top of the wall, and then we'll just shoot them in. Now I just gotta repeat this.
This is why I don't watch. They don't
Okay, so for now, I'm just screwing these in, and then I'm gonna come back and add the hurricane ties later. Oh, and we finally killed the battery on the 5 amp hour Hercules here. So you can see when these die, they don't even light up at all. Like the Milwaukee flashes a little bit. These just let you know it's DED dead. Well, we got a little bit out of her. Almost made it. We drove a lot of 5-inch timber screws. And there's a decent amount of 3 inches in here. Obviously most of this was nailed, but there's a good amount in here. Let's see, maybe we got enough for one more. Okay, I think I'm calling it a wrap for today and a wrap for this video, but let's take a look back. See, now we've got this thing, it's really looking like a structure now. We got 4 walls on it. We've almost got a full roof there. I'm either gonna add one more 2x4 to the edge here. That way it kind of bumps it out a little bit and I'll have somewhere for my sheathing and my siding to go up into, or I might soften it out and make it a little bit come out further on either side. Haven't really figured that out yet, but I made a lot of progress in this video. Stoked to see the structure. I think it's the perfect size. Honestly, we probably could have gone a little bit bigger, but being I wanted to stay on that footprint, on that deck size. I think we made a good compromise between building space and deck space. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not subscribed already, please click the subscribe button now that you do not miss out on any future content. Don't forget to give this video a like, get a thumbs up. Don't forget to check out workforapparel.com, because if there's anything you want in this life, you gotta be willing to work for it. You guys are the best.
Roll the intro!
Damn. Yeah.